Okay, so hello, good morning, guys. My name is Sandra Larcon. I am your English teacher, and today we are going to talk about adverbs of frequency. Now, this is the topics today. Okay, so welcome to my class, students. I hope that this class is very interesting and will help you understand more easy the adverbs of frequency. So, okay, the first of all, we are going to watch a video about the adverbs of frequency. This is a song, and then asking these questions. Okay, so let's start.
How often do you? How often do you? How often do you brush your teeth?
How often do you? How often do you?
Always, always, I always brush my teeth. How often do you?
How often do you?
How often do you use chopsticks?
How often do you? How often do you?
Usually, I usually use chopsticks. How often do you?
How often do you?
How often do you take out the trash?
How often do you? How often do you?
Often, I often take out the trash. How often do you?
How often do you?
How often do you do the laundry?
How often do you? How often do you?
Sometimes, I sometimes do the laundry. How often do you?
How often do you?
How often do you bake cookies?
How often do you? How often do you?
Rarely, I rarely make cookies. How often do you?
How often do you?
How often do you drive a car?
How often do you? How often do you?
Never, I never drive a car.
Okay, so according to the last video, what do you think are the adverbs of frequency? You have 5 minutes for do you think and create the best answer. So remember, it's the current video. Don't worry that's correct or incorrect answers. So it's what do you think? So according to the video, that's easy. Okay, so that's okay for your answers. So now I explained what is the adverbs of frequency. So remember, the adverbs of frequency it's the answer. So these questions: how often do you do something? How do you, for example, how often do you brush your teeth? How often do you eating? How often do you do the homeworks? Something like that. And this one, it's these answers. No, answer these questions. Okay. Then the adverbs of frequency is using like a percentage. So, for example, always it's 100%. Sometimes it's 50%, and never is 0%. No, so try to use for these activities. For example, I don't know, how often do you how often do you eat fruits? For example, oh, I eat I eat a fruit. I eat something a fruit. Hmm? So something like that. But I think that it's clear. Remember, it's the percentage. Okay, exist three sentence parents. What is a sentence parents? Like forms to create sentence with adverbs of frequency. For example, in this case, it's use subject, verb, verb to be, adverb, and object. So, for example, he is always clean. She always late. Um, she always make up. Uh, she, he is always he is always in the house, something like that. Okay, the second form is use subject plus adverb plus verb plus object. So in this case, they always clean the house. No, like this picture. Other example, she always brush her teeth. Um, I never, um, I never close the door. Something like that. And then it's the third form to create a sentence. So start with always subject, and then it's plus verb to be, and then it's plus adverb, and plus verb, and plus object. So, for example, she's always clean the house. Um, I am never clean the house. I am never watch TV. Um, my mom is never clean the apartment, something like that. And using the different verbs, different adverbs of frequency, and the verb to be remembered, it's the same, no? Okay, so here there are other examples. The first example is I always eat breakfast at 7 a.m. Second example is they sometimes go to the movies on weekends. And the third example is we never skip our English class. Okay, and thank you for your participation and for your pay attention and watching for me. Bye bye. See you in the next lesson.